You know what? Because he came out from behind, I was like, he better have that blonde streak. He better have it. He better.
That would have been cool. Bring the part-timers back, right? The big superstars. And then use the big superstars to put over the little guys. Have Ronda Rousey lose.
I can understand why they brought the nostalgia in, because it's almost like trying to be current, and what's current right now, nostalgia. That's the irony.
Last year's Royal Rumble ended with Rhea and Bianca as the last two, the future. A year later, we ended with Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Are we going backwards here?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our channel. It's your boy, Chosen Wizdom.
And it's me, your girl, Divergent Curl.
Yes, sir. And today we are back with something different. Today we're going to have a talk about wrestling. And in particular, the Royal Rumble, baby. The Royal Rumble 2022 has gone. We've watched it and we just want to talk about it. We want to talk about the matches, what we liked, what we didn't like, because let's be honest, guys, the pay-per-view wasn't perfect. It wasn't. So yeah, let's have a talk about it. Let's have a discussion. So yeah, the first match, obviously, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, two former Shield members going face-to-face. They haven't gone face-to-face for a long time. So this is the first match in a while that we've had between those two. And the build has been decent. They've had about 2 or 3 weeks to build up the rivalry. And guys, let's be honest, the entrance, that Seth Rollins entrance, that brought back so much nostalgia. I think that entrance was just amazing. I'm a more of a seasoned fan of wrestling, you know, to give more of a context. You're a bit new to wrestling, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm very new. I'm uber new. This will be my first full year, I guess, of watching wrestling properly. And the storyline that actually caught me was the Kofi storyline.
Yeah, Kofi
Mania.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah, and you know, obviously you were seasoned when it comes to wrestling. You've been watching it for a few years, but I noticed it out the corner of my eye, but it wasn't until the Kofi storyline that I thought, wow, that's such a good storyline. Yeah. It pulled me in.
That underdog story.
Yeah.
So you probably didn't feel the same nostalgia I felt when I saw Rollins. But the mind games that Rollins was trying to play there, you can see it. It was
from the Shield videos you showed me from the past, like, for me as a newbie, for someone who I thought I was never going to ever get to see any iteration of the Shield again, you know, when a faction's dead and gone, it's dead and gone, supposedly. So to get to see Seth come out as, you know what, because he came out from behind, I was like, he better have that blonde streak. He better have it. He better.
That would have been cool.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it. But for me as a newbie, it was cool to see something that I thought I would actually never get to see.
Yeah, I hear that. That's good. I mean, for me, the whole thing was great. The entrance was great. And you guys know, these two, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, are arguably two of the best wrestlers in the world. They're at the top of their game.
Yeah.
So I already knew this match was going to be a good match. We've seen them wrestle before, so I knew this match was going to be awesome. I was surprised that it was first, to be honest.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the way I thought about it was, if this match is first, then this pay-per-view is going to be amazing. You know, that's what I thought anyway.
Set the tone.
You know, to set the tone.
Well, yeah.
But those two, they put on a good show. Yes. It was a great match. In terms of, was it a 5-star match? For me, no, not quite a 5-star match. Probably more of a 4-star match. And the reason why it didn't get 5 stars for me was probably the ending, if I'm being honest. The no disqualification, the DQ ending for me ruined a little bit of the match. I didn't want it to end in DQ. I understand why, you know, to prolong the story and so on and so forth, but the ending, you know, was a bit annoying, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But the match in itself was a great match. The story, what that Seth was telling, laughing in his face and come on, be my brother and all these things, it was just good. Those two are such good entertainers.
Yes.
Both of them are great entertainers, and they did what they needed to do. Great match. Yeah,
I was gonna say for me, it's 4.5 to 5 out of 5 for me. And I didn't like the ending, but for me, getting to see the mind games and the storytelling that Seth was doing in the ring, as somebody who was actually messing with Roman's head in the storyline. I mean, no other character thus far has really been able to do that, maybe besides Brock.
You feel like Seth is going down this Joker, Riddler character.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's where he's going to end up with his character, which I'm all down for. Something different, you know, something unique.
And in actually the fight, the match itself, Seth was dominating, I think. For large parts, he was dominating against Roman and showcasing, I guess, to demonstrating all the rhetoric that's come before, that you've never really beat me when it counts, when you needed to the most. And again, he hasn't, because
Seth won.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, by DQ. Good start to the pay-per-view. And then we got the Women's Royal Rumble match. But for me, if I'm being totally honest, I think Ronda Rousey saved it. Her return and the big pop that she got saved it, because I don't even think it was as good as last year's one. And last year's one didn't have the crowd. Yeah. I felt that the whole thing was a bit disjointed and it was very slow. For a long period of time, it was very slow. And some of the times the girls or the women didn't know what to do. I was disappointed in the fact that Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan didn't really eliminate anybody. But they were in the Royal Rumble for, 40 minutes or something? WWE have so many talented women like Asuka, for instance, who's at home, and other women in NXT to utilize for the Royal Rumble. But and I don't mind some legends coming back, but they literally brought some legends back just to eliminate them in 2 seconds. And I thought to myself, WWE need to start creating future stars. They really do. And I'm a Liv Morgan fan. I'm a Bianca Belair fan, you know, and I like Ronda Rousey too. But I didn't think Ronda Rousey needed to win the Royal Rumble. I really didn't think she needed to win. I think someone else could have won. If I was to rate it out of 5, I would probably give it 2.5. If I'm being honest.
Okay. For me, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Again, I'm a newbie, but I did watch the Rumble last year. I agreed. The Rumble from last year was better than the Rumble this year. And you pointed out it didn't have a crowd either, like live crowd, which for me is interesting. I think the storytelling and the wrestling in the Rumble last year was much better. And it's because there's no live crowd, so the scrutinization of the viewer at home is even more on point, and you have to be even more on point with your moves. There were so many. I saw a couple of slow moves. Like there was a point where Mickie James was fighting Rhea, and Mickie was a bit slow in one of her kind of reactions. So Rhea's just kind of waiting to be kicked in the face, and it looks a bit clumsy.
It felt more disjointed than last year. Maybe they made a last minute change. Maybe Ronda wasn't supposed to be in it, and because they made a last minute change, the whole Rumble had to change, so people, forgot their spots or whatever it was. But you were right. There weren't that much storytelling in this one. We had the Naomi
Cruella de Vil
angle, which was okay. We had a few other angles here and there, but the one last year, Rhea Ripley and Bianca told a story in the last few minutes, and it was a really good story. Whereas Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey, I just didn't feel the same. And like I said, it's interesting. We have to really think about it. Last year's Royal Rumble ended with Rhea and Bianca as the last two, the future. A year later, we ended with Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Are we going backwards here? I thought we were setting up the new generation. So that's why it disappointed me.
I agree with you.
But Mickie James appearing with the TNA Championship, that was amazing. That was really good to see. And she got a really good push, really good rub. I think she eliminated 2 people. It was good to see that. And hopefully we can see a bit more of that, right? More crossovers.
Yeah.
Open that forbidden door. Rhea's performance in the Rumble was also quite impressive as well.
Yeah, I like Rhea. And I thought when she came out with that face paint on, I thought, okay, something significant is going to happen, because she looks really memorable. But I wanted to pick up on your point about the whole nostalgia avenue that Vince has gone down. I think it makes sense because literally the whole world, like as the impact of Rona and the continuous impact, we're all longing for that security and those safety blankets, and nostalgia is like one way for us as a consumer to get it.
Nostalgia is being used heavily in so many different ways.
Yeah. TV show reboots, movie reboots. That comfort. Exactly. Retell the story, familiar story, but just tell it slightly different. Change I can understand why they brought the nostalgia in, because it's almost like trying to be current, and what's current right now, nostalgia. That's the irony. But I'm a bit frustrated, like you said, about where the storytelling could be going, because I think they should have been picking up with the Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair storyline, maybe even throwing Liv Morgan in to make us have a more believable, believe in that feud between her and Becky Lynch a bit more, have her do a bit more.
But I understand why Vince wanted Ronda Rousey to win. She's a huge star. She's going to get bums in seats. Of course she is. She's a mega star. She's also a film star. And that's what, Vince will always do, I reckon. But at some point, there needs to be long-term vision. Sometimes you're going to have to say, do you know what? I'm going to go this route. I'm not going to get too many bums on seats yet. But in the long term, I will do. Rather than that instant, 1 million views or something. But yeah, okay match. Could have been better.
Yeah.
But, it was still fun. Doudrop versus Becky Lynch. Now, I wasn't really looking forward to this match. And if I'm being honest, I don't think many people were looking forward to this match. I think most people assumed Becky Lynch was going to win. Didn't really give Doudrop a chance. It wasn't a memorable match, if I'm being honest.
No.
But I think during the match, a fire alarm was going off or something.
Oh, yeah, a flag caught fire, or one of the banners, and they had to evacuate some of the areas, and people had to leave.
Yeah. And I noticed that a lot of people weren't paying attention to the match. And it just didn't have that big match feel about it. And the Rumble got 2.5. I'll give this match a 2. It was okay.
Yeah.
It happened. Well done, Doudrop. Well done, Becky. It was a fine match, but it wasn't amazing. The build for this match wasn't good. At no point did I believe Doudrop could beat Becky. Doudrop lost 3 times in a row to Bianca for 3 weeks straight. I mean, it was almost like a SmackDown match. And like I said, I like Becky Lynch, but if I'm going to be real with you.
Please be.
Becky Lynch's character, she has a big character, big time Bex, the man, a larger than life persona. She broke through that fourth wall, or broke through that glass ceiling, as we like to say, and she elevated women's wrestling. She did a lot, let's be honest, and put some respect on her name. But I've never been overly impressed with her in the ring. Let's be totally honest. Out of the 4 horsewomen, she's probably the least talented in the ring. I would put Charlotte Flair, definitely Sasha Banks, who's almost a go, and probably Bayley above her in the ring, if I'm being honest. That's just my preference. That's what I think. You guys might think differently. Up to you. If you guys think differently, leave your comments below. I'd want to know why.
How are you ranking the 4 horsewomen?
But I don't think she puts on a lot of 5-star, she does, but not as much as she other women could.
Yeah.
I think, it's more the character.
Yeah, okay.
For me, that's over. Not her amazing wrestling ability or wrestling skills, especially now you have people like Rhea and Bianca just doing crazy things now, elevating the bar. So that's my opinion. Yeah,
I'm gonna join you on that one, and I give it a 2 overall. Being new to wrestling or WWE, I don't buy into the hype around Becky Lynch. So I guess for some of you right now, I'm blaspheming, because you're like, how
dare you?
I recognize,
how dare you?
Whilst I recognize all of the achievements that you've mentioned, and I know that culturally she's had a lot of impact in wrestling, calling herself the man, switching things up.
Yeah, she did a lot. I like the man's character.
On the mic, I think she's one of the best women on the mic that I've seen, that I've been only watching for like a year and a bit. But I've seen some of the older clips, and she can go toe for toe with any of the more like top ranking men. Easily. I think if she had to have a segment with The Rock in the ring, she'd be able to hold her own. If she had to have a segment, in the ring with Paul Heyman, I think she could hold her own. Someone like Liv Morgan against Paul Heyman. Oh my gosh. No.
You acknowledge Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I acknowledge Becky. I acknowledge the man. Good. I just don't buy into her. The hype.
All right. So out of 5 stars, what would you give the match?
I give it a 2, because I just thought they're great wrestlers and they did their thing. But like you said, the storytelling into this sort of feud that's building, I don't know. I see them more as they should join up and be like evil partners in crime.
Yeah,
type
and
stuff.
the fact that they're both technically heels as well. Anyway, we move on. Maurice and The Miz versus Beth and Edge.
You think you know me?
But you don't. Couple versus couple.
Mm-hmm.
The grit versus the it couple.
Yes.
As they call it. For me, this one for me was about having fun. You know, I didn't expect an amazing match, a 5-star match between the couples and the women who probably haven't wrestled for a long while. I just expected something fun and something interesting.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we got. And, you know, bringing Beth and bringing Maurice into it, like I said, I can imagine they must have had a blast. Just working with your other half, working with your partner, doing what you love must have been such a fun experience.
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget the human part of wrestling, you know, and that must have been beautiful. But yeah, what did you think of the match?
I thought it was fun. The buy-in was easy. Because the story has been told really well prior to this. Both couples have definitely set the scene well and really made you buy into this rivalry. And I think it made me laugh that Maurice had got the little shiny purse, but like a fancy version for this match with the brick in it again, still carrying through from other matches. And I have to say, the first time I ever saw The Miz, I was like, what the heck is this? What is this? I don't get it. He was with John Morrison at the time. I'm thinking, oh, okay, he's meant to be this character that's annoying and frustrating.
Obnoxious.
And then again, when Edge came back, I'm sorry, I just thought, who is this guy?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to hear this a lot because she's new. And because she doesn't know who Edge is and she doesn't know who Miz is, when she sees him for the first time, she's not going to understand why. I'm like, listen, this guy's amazing. This guy's good. She doesn't understand. She'll be like, oh, why is he good? Why is he so amazing? And then about 2 months later, she's like, yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. You think you know me? Okay.
On the microphone, you can talk about his wrestling ability. He's not going to do a 450 splash anytime soon. But on the microphone, The Miz can speak. You know, he can talk. So, yeah, it was, for me, it was fun. The match did its job.
Yeah.
You know, it broke up the Royal Rumble matches. It was good to see the couples together doing spots, you know.
Oh, yeah, and Beth picked
the slam. Up. Yeah, Beth picked up
Miz.
The Miz. Not a 5-star match, not a 2-star match. 3.5 stars for me, probably. 3.5 stars, yeah. It was fun.
Fair.
It was a fun match.
I was going to say 3. Yeah. And I think the little picking up of Liz.
3.5 might be high. 3 stars, 3.5 stars. Yeah, go on.
Picking up of Miz, it was, in my mind, was a little shout out to Bianca Belair when she picked up Otis.
Yeah. Bobby Lashley against Brock Lesnar. Listen, guys, I was freaking out when this match was announced. I love Bobby Lashley. I love Brock Lesnar. You know, they're both great wrestlers. Bobby has been doing great stuff this year. For the past year, this almighty gimmick, this persona, what he's been doing, how he's been booked by Vince as this monster, it's been just really good to watch, you know. And so this was a really good time. I would hope for this match to have been like a WrestleMania and to have just a slower, longer build. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. We still got the match that we wanted and it delivered. For me, it delivered. Did it exceed my expectations? No. Was it underneath my expectations? Not really. For me, it just delivered. I think it could have been better, but I'm glad that it was not as bad as it could have been. And the reason why I say that is because we've seen Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar matches that last 2 minutes long or 30 seconds long or whatever. 2 spares or a few jackhammers and bam, you've won. I was happy that these guys actually tried to wrestle a little bit. And I was happy that this match lasted more than 5 minutes, you know? They tried to tell a story. They told a story, technically.
Yeah.
The reason why it wasn't a great match for me is, once again, while I understood the ending of Roman Reigns coming out and doing what he did, I knew straight away the consequences of that ending. And I knew it would mean Brock Lesnar was going to enter the Royal Rumble after that. And that annoyed me. I'm happy Bobby won. I'm really happy Bobby won because not nobody, I think most people thought Brock was going to win. I even thought Brock was going to win. So I was quietly surprised that Bobby won. But Roman Reigns coming out at the end, while it was entertaining, I don't know if I liked it, you know?
I can understand, yeah.
Just let Bobby beat Brock fair and square. Let Bobby win clean. Like, it's believable that Bobby can beat Brock, you know? He can beat Brock and beat him clean. Don't be scared. You know, you don't overprotect Brock. He doesn't need protecting. He's the beast. So the ending wasn't great. While it was entertaining, I didn't like it, if that made any sense to you guys. But yeah, still a fun match. For me, I'd give it a 3.5. 3.5 stars. How about you? How did you feel about it?
I was excited to see Bobby and Brock together. And I feel kind of lucky that I've joined this journey like at the 20th year so I can actually see it instead of having to wait 20 years to see this. Because probably some of you guys have been waiting a long time to see this match too, like as viewers. I was glad it wasn't just Suplex City and just like 4 suplexes and done. I really appreciated that we got an actual match. I was happy that Bobby won. I had a feeling that he would win. I felt annoyed that Roman barged into their moment. But I get it, because for storytelling purposes, okay, have this guy, but he's supposed to be the most egotistical, the biggest, maniacal. Make him just think he's important. You get the story,
but he still didn't like it.
No, because also put some respect on Brock and Bobby's names. I think part of it was to enable the Paul Heyman switch up to happen again.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because I was quite enjoying him back with Brock at the moment. Although Brock wasn't really needing him. Brock was kind of talking much more for himself. So that's another, I think, interesting aspect. I've liked to see this version or this iteration of Brock, because obviously I've known about Brock Lesnar from like MMA and stuff. But this is quite a fun iteration, and he talks for himself a lot more than he ever used to.
Yeah.
So that's quite cool, because back in the day, I think when I've seen the old footage, you never hear Brock Lesnar speak.
I think
really.
people are also evolving. Back in the day, it was like someone who's that big can't have a voice like that. It doesn't make any sense. I won't take him seriously. And now people are just opening their brains and opening their minds, and you can have a voice like anything. I still punch in your face. You know? But you're right. The problem also is the fact that back in the day, WWE's, and not always, but a lot of their top guys could also speak, whether it's Austin, The Rock, Triple H, whatever. Whereas maybe now the likes of, Bobby Lashley and Brock aren't the best on the mic. While they're improving, they're not the greatest on the mic. They're not The Rock. So they don't have that to carry the product, that sort of charisma, that connection that someone like Rock would have naturally. That's something to think about. Just to add, finally, the build for the match was just amazing. I love the vignettes, the TV ads, and, it promoted the match really well. And it was a good match. It was a good match. Could have been better, but it was a good match. So we move on to
the final.
The Royal Rumble match itself. Now, I didn't know who was going to win. I know some people were saying Big E was going to win. Some people were saying Austin Theory was going to win. Some people were saying Randy Orton was going to win, Matt Riddle. But as soon as I saw that Brock Lesnar had lost the title, I just had a feeling he was going to enter himself into the Rumble. For me, once again, I don't think the men's Royal Rumble was good or was as good as last year's one. It was slow in a lot of parts. There wasn't a lot of stories being told with the eliminations. I don't think the Rumble had a lot of star power as well. The women tried a lot with the nostalgia and bringing, the veterans back, but I felt like a mid-card Rumble. But at the same time, a Rumble with AJ Styles and Nakamura and all these guys in it at the beginning, it just didn't have the necessary action that I thought it would have. Something just felt flat about it. Some of the eliminations were just underwhelming. When Big E got eliminated, nobody even mentioned anything on commentary when he got eliminated, and he was supposed to be one of the favorites. And when I saw Brock Lesnar come back, as I mentioned before, I just knew he was going to win. So it just felt, I don't know, it wasn't terrible. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but it could have been better. I'm ranking it based on what I've seen previously. And, you haven't seen many Royal Rumbles, so you're probably going to say it was amazing.
I haven't seen many Royal Rumbles, but because I'm learning from you, I have very high standards. So So yeah, like when we go back and
or maybe I don't
watch,
have high standards. Maybe people at home are thinking,
true,
what?
maybe
That was a 1. That was a 1 star.
Maybe okay. So for the men's Royal Rumble, I really enjoyed. I loved seeing AJ. He's one of my faves. Absolutely, I think he's fantastic wrestler, and like you'd put him up there in terms of the quality of all of his moves and his bumps and all of that. I think he's just one of the best that WWE has. So I loved seeing him. Thought it was cool to see Omos as well. I was less fussed about the Johnny Knoxville celebrity insert. That's probably more to do with money and the movies coming out and Jackass and so on and so forth. I did like the Bad Bunny. Because the Royal Rumble last year was the first one I really watched, and I was like, wow, this guy's amazing, and he's not even a wrestler. Like he did well, so it was cool to have him like pop back in.
He got F5'd by Brock. That was good to see that he got F5'd. He must have loved getting F5'd by Brock Lesnar because he's a proper WWE fan, mate.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, he loves it. What? He loves it. Right, mate? Anyway, go on.
You know what? I was disappointed because for some reason I had in my head that Big E was going to win the Royal Rumble because WWE owes him for having to switcheroo and take him out of the title. And then actually, sorry, you know what we forgot to mention that Big E announces Friday night that he's part back on Friday night permanently.
Permanently. Yeah.
So I'm like, that's why I thought even more. Oh, maybe he's going to win to give him something because he should be contending. He should be at that level.
It seems to me that WWE are very short-sighted or can be very short-sighted. Quick wins, quick gains, quick money rather than long-term planning. They have a lot of stars right in front of them, or potential stars right in front of them, but sometimes I feel like they forget or they don't know how to make new stars. Bring the part-timers back, right? The big superstars, and then use the big superstars to put over the little guys. Have Ronda Rousey lose to somebody in the company because she's not going to be here all the time. She's going to go away again. The other guys are going to be here, so start thinking more strategically and more long term. That's the only thing I can say. I do like the product. I do. It's fun, but there are other products out there. So while I don't watch AEW, because I don't have time to watch WWE shows and AEW shows, and that's the only reason why I don't watch AEW. But if I had more time, I would be watching other shows, But I like the product, but we can do better. WWE, we can do better. Now that Brock surely is going to challenge Reigns. And what do you guys think about that? Because we have seen Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns maybe more times than we've seen Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm pretty sure they went back-to-back WrestleManias as well. Do you guys want another Reigns and Brock WrestleMania? I don't know. I don't think Brock should have won Royal Rumble, and I'll stick by that.
I agree. I think someone else should have won the Rumble to elevate them to a position to insert more people into the title races. Because the only way people are going to buy into it is if you do it. You have to kind of push the button with somebody and say, go for it, and let's back you kind of thing. Yeah.
Build your new stars, WWE.
And I was going to say, I probably should have said earlier, but in the Women's Royal Rumble, I don't really know Ronda Rousey. I actually know her more from MMA, so it's going to be interesting for me to see her in this brand. But again, I thought, that's a bit of a waste of the Rumble because, for example, I think there were rumors going around that we thought maybe Naomi might win the Rumble because they've been building. I mean, the Naomi's a fantastic wrestler. Or maybe Bianca Belair was going to do it for a second year, or Rhea Ripley was going to do it, or maybe even Liv Morgan. Like there were some rumors going around that maybe she might, to elevate her to fighting Becky at WrestleMania or something. But they instead just decided to, which I understand. But even as a new fan, because Ronda doesn't mean anything to me in the context of WWE, for me, it's almost like you're taking it away from known people and giving it from me as a new person to somebody random, which I'll buy into her once I see her wrestle more. Clearly, she's a badass, but
it's interesting because having Ronda Rousey in Royal Rumble is supposed to appease the people like you more because you will know her outside of wrestling. So you're supposed to be like, oh, Ronda Rousey, but you're not. So there you go. Maybe it's not working, Vince. I don't know. There you have it, man. It's been lovely. It's been massive. It's been good to have a conversation. We don't really do wrestling content, but we do watch wrestling. So if you guys like what you hear, like what you see, and you want more of this type of content, like this video, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and do all your things. Share the video with your friends.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, this is new content, wrestling conversations. We can talk about anything, guys. Let us know what you want to talk about. And let's keep it moving. You know, there's going to be Raw, SmackDown, and of course, the road to WrestleMania.
Yes.
Who's going to challenge who? Is Ronda going to challenge Becky? Or is Ronda going to challenge Charlotte? Is Bianca going to still face Becky? Or is it going to be a triple threat with Liv? Who's Brock going to face?
Yeah.
Bobby or Roman?
Are we going to get Seth?
What's Seth going to do? You know, there's still loads of things going to happen. So loads of possibilities, loads of conversations, loads of episodes of Raw and SmackDown before WrestleMania. And also we have Elimination Chamber. The Elimination.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the Elimination Chamber. I said it right the first time. Coming back, which is going to be a match that I've seen many times before, but you haven't seen.
No,
so if you guys want watch-alongs and reactions, let us know as well.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching.